There's just a handful of you in here, and I thank you for coming out. Happy New Year. I'm excited to do a live stream. Gosh, can't tell you the last time I did a live stream. Apparently might have been as far back as when Hyundai revealed the updated Sonata and Elantra refreshes. That was a while back, but we will be doing some more live streams very, very soon. We'll talk more about what's coming in the new year. For the brands that I mainly cover here on the channel, we're also going to talk about how I'm going to be expanding my content in 2024 as well. Audio is good. Hey, that's great because half the time when I start live streaming, audio is not good and I'm on mute, or there's all sorts of stuff that I run into live stream because I don't do it enough and I have no one to check for me, obviously a one-man show. All right, Kevin's checking in from Lakeland, Florida. Where are you guys coming from? I have about 100 of you guys in here now. Apparently, YouTube is pushing out those notifications for video uploads. I have not made a video today. I uploaded my review on the Hornet. It's been quite a pleasure to drive. It's a great city car. It's fun to drive as well. Make sure to check that out. I'm sure you guys have lots of opinions on it. Reliability is a thing, but hey, in my week of driving it, it was awesome. All right. Where are you guys coming from? What part of the world, what part of the States, where are you repping from? Anand says, hello, people with the cowboy hat. Volvo to love. Slay, what's up? Richard Scott, good weekend to you, sir. Happy 2024, says PK Agent 14. Man, the chat is alive and healthy. Hopefully you guys here, maybe I'll pull up the chat so you guys can see it as well. But I want to pull up something first. There's a few things I want to talk about before I get into like some of the big announcements for the channel. Where's that at? There it is. This is something I want to talk about to start the stream today, as well as let's see here. Let's pull up that as well. Both of these things will be happening in the near future. Pull that up. Boom. Can we zoom in on that? Not really. Okay. So let's switch on over to the screen. So we have Mazda CX-70 coming at the end of this month. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Leo the Short Guy, he's a moderator. He's been a big follower on the channel for a long time. So appreciate him and all you guys coming out to the channel. Alejandro, what's up? Judy Arnold, Happy New Year from New England. Hopefully you guys are staying warm. You guys might be getting hit with snow. It's a bit cloudy and rainy and windy here. I guess the wind died off and maybe the rain did too, but it was literally like hurricane here for about 3 or 4 hours. Best car YouTuber, 1 million in 2024. Let's make that happen. I'm all for that. That's one of my long-term goals, but the sooner the better. Appreciate that, Neo or Neo. I could be butchering your name, but I appreciate you. David Langel or Langle. Hi, everyone from Fort Lauderdale, neighbor. Well, up the street, what's up? Buffalo, New York. Hopefully you're not snowed in. Laramie, Wyoming. I watched John. What's up, John from Laramie? I watched Wyoming send out Craig Bowl with a bowl victory. That was a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of football, college football, as Cornhusker can't get away from that. Carla, what's up, Carla? She likes my reviews. You're from Cleveland. Stay warm in Cleveland. Absolutely. Norman in San Diego. He's from San Diego. Longtime supporter of the channel. Appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys coming out. There's no way I can get to all the comments. You guys are blowing my minds. I wasn't expecting this big of a turnout, but you guys always surprise me. So Houston, we have Germany. Dominic, thanks for coming in from Germany. Grandma's Basement is repping. Samurai. Cam says, what's good, Captain Kirk? Speaking of Captain Kirk, I'm going to try to pull this up for you guys because Akio Toyota had a Star Trek reference recently. So I'm going to pull that up. There it is. pull that up for you guys. I actually have not read this article, but Akio Toyota's channels his Captain Kirk an urgent New Year plea. This was breaking news just a few days ago. Hans Greimel is Automotive News Asian journalist. He covers Asian autos. He lives in Tokyo. I should have reached out to him, but I was just so busy when I was over in Japan. But that would have been cool to meet him. But anyways, he always has some spicy stuff coming out of Japan. Akio Toyota wants to transform the company. A lot of people are saying, oh, it was great that Akio retired, or we don't want Akio to retire, depending on what view you have of him. He just moved on as chairman. So he's just got a different role in the company where Koji Sato is kind of holding the reins. But anyways, Captain Kirk, what did he say about it? Where's I feel like there's probably a quote in here. Well, here's a Chinese proverb: the taller you grow, the deeper you bow. And I don't know what other proverb. This could be like just a Western proverb. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. So it's a similar but very different proverb there. So Toyota, they have a lot at stake, and the deeper you bow means the more humble you should be, the bigger you get, right? Let's see here. Okay, here it is, the last paragraph. So this year, in the words of the immortal Captain Kirk, let's boldly go where no one has gone before, he said. Let's challenge ourselves to expand our capabilities and widen our horizons in every region, in every country. And that's what I'm going to try to do with the channel this year, is broaden my horizons just a little bit, not necessarily every region or every country. I've already hit every country. Well, I don't know about that, but there's a lot of countries out there. I'm worldwide at this point, guys. That is mind-blowing. So thank you for that. Israel, be safe. Ite, Newman, be safe out there. Beautiful center. What did you miss? You haven't missed anything yet. We're just catching up on lost time. I haven't live streamed in a while. Right Lang Hog, love when someone who's 5'5" is standing out very high in Proverbs. Yes. All right. Well, thanks again for coming out. FJ40, speaking of FJ40, well, kind of right back here, right? But I got this for myself for Christmas. Let's go back to the big screen. We'll get into the big announcements here in a little bit. Don't worry, guys. I got big announcements for the channel, big announcements for just January as well. But I buried my windows here. Hold on. Should probably put that there. All right. So I was buying Christmas gifts for my kids. Walmart, it was a random Walmart trip. Oh, because I had forgot to get things for their stockings. So I was running to Walmart, get some, like some cheap board games. Well, that doesn't really fit in their stockings. That's just what it came out with. As well as like small stuffed animal Pokemon stuff for their stockings. But I ran upon this, and I tried opening it right before the stream, but this thing is like tied down, this FJ Cruiser. But I thought it was amazing. I'll probably just throw away the tires or let the kids play with them, something like that. But this is going to be sitting somewhere in my backdrop here at some point when I'm able to wrestle it free from the packaging. So yeah, it's from Just Trucks is the brand, and it's die cast, so it is metal. So I'm pretty excited to play with that. Typically, what happens with my die casts, this one has been saved. I don't know how. My Truino here, it's a little dusty, but like my Lexus ones, the kids get their hands on it and they play hard with them. But I'm glad they play with them. That's great. It's cool. But they have destroyed them. The wheels have fallen off. The LS400 is still running. Just the wheels are off of it. All right. Let's bring up the screen again. So we do have Mazda CX-70 arriving very soon. I can't wait to debut it for you guys. Mazda reached out to me I think it was yesterday. They know I can't go because I can't be in two places at once, or three. Actually, it would be four places at once because I'd like to be home because we'll have a newborn then, because it's January 30th, the reveal. But I'm not going to, I may be home during the review. Anyways, there's also Honda Prologue going on for Media Drive around the same time. There's also Lexus GX going on like at the same time as well. So I can only be at one place. So I'm going to try to do Lexus GX. That's what you saw in the thumbnail. and that is the media drive. It is in Arizona. I don't know when. That's in Tucson specifically. I don't know when embargo ends on it. But update on Lexus GX is that if you missed my video, because I kind of talked about it in one of my previous videos, Lexus GX availability is probably not going to be till March or April for most places. It's been pushed back, and there will be little to no supply of GX 460s to bridge the gap. So that's going to be tough for Lexus dealers. Maybe in the first quarter or so. Business is typically slower in the first quarter for Lexus anyways, after they, have the December to remember that starts in November, right? So it's a 2-month sales sprint for Lexus at the end of the year. Then things really slow in January, February, and then it'll pick back up when the new GX 550 is ready to be available and sold. I do have a super chat. I appreciate you. Cards Carl, thank you for the 20 spot. He says, hi, Kirk from Madison, Wisconsin. Congratulations on the baby boy. Yes, Cassie could go into labor at any point now. So, I mean, the due date's the 15th. My birthday's the 20th. But we're thinking he's going to come early. But we'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. Appreciate you. Thank you. Happy New Year to you and your family. That is awesome. Happy New Year, Will. Appreciate you. Still in SoCal. I need a diecast IS 500. They're probably out there somewhere. I know. Speaking of diecast, so I picked this up. My Takara Tommy RCF Performance. I got this in. Oh, you might not be able to see it. I got this in Tokyo. I think I did a little video. Yeah, watch my car sightseeing in Tokyo. I think that's where I talked about where I found this, as well as I have the Toyota Century, the Civic Type R, the Nissan Sakura, as well as the old Mark IV Supra. Those are all die-cast cars sitting on top of my computer. So if that's what you're wondering, right over here in front of Goku, I could probably go wider. But yeah, there you go. Those are my die-cast car collection that are more collectors than anything. They'll always stay in their box. I don't know if they're worth anything, but they're amazing. Makes me very, very happy. Speaking of happy, we got big Honda stuff in January. Check this out. So not only do we have Honda showing off their Dustbuster EV concept sedan, but we could see an EV concept crossover, right? Because I believe it says, yes, all new Honda vehicle series. Here's the thing. Could it mean that they're going to have multiple? That's what I want. But they could just say, okay, well, here's a concept, but we're going to be building off of this. So I don't know. I really don't know. Now, I will get embargoed information, and I'll have the second at the reveal, I'll be able to pop it up for you guys when the embargo ends about these vehicles. But at this point in time, I honestly have no idea what they are. And if I did, I couldn't tell you because I'd be under embargo, right? That's the tricky thing. But Honda invited me out for this, and they're saying, hey, if you're at CES, here's a special invite for some drinks. It was like a happy hour and hors d'oeuvres. It would have been this evening, so it would have been January 9th in the afternoon, and I think it's 6 to 8 p.m. or something like that. They invited me for, but I won't be making it to that, obviously, because baby could be born anytime. But I'll be able to live stream just like I'm doing right now, the reveal. So I'll have a video go live when the reveal embargo ends, and I will be watching it live with you guys to see how they reveal it and what they reveal at CES. Also at CES, Honda will be there with Sony and the Afeela car. Make sure to watch my walk around with David Chow from Automotive Press when we were in Tokyo for the Japan Mobility Show. The Afeela car was one of the more impressive cars there, in my opinion. There's nothing much else to say about this until just a few days from now. So, what is it, January 9th? Today's the 6th, so just, 3 days from now. I'm very, very excited. Very excited. What do you guys want to see from Honda's EV concept? Beautiful Center says, your birthday's the 22. Happy birthday. Birthday, bro. Okay, let's see here. What? George says, I have to be 100% honest and not go soft on the cars that have issues, or you will not get to your million. I'm honest in everything I do. So if you're just calling me a liar, that's great. Good for you, man. Um, Alejandro says, I have a diecast A90 Supra. Sweet. How big is it? Like what scale? I guess what scale is it? Like a Matchbox car, kind of like the ones back here, or is it like kind of like the Truino back there? Let's see here. Am I getting together with David again? That was great in Japan. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. David and I were friends. We'll always find a way to meet up either on a live stream or in person. We also met up when we had a small opportunity at the LA Auto Show. We brought you guys some, what was it? The Camry. We did a Camry video together, Lexus GX video together. David, for $5, thank you, David. He says, I am a Volkswagen Audi rep, 37 years. He owns a 2022 Audi Q8 e-tron. Let's see, and a Volkswagen ID Pro 4S rear-wheel drive. Love your channel. Appreciate you. That's awesome. You do you. I always love talking to people who are in the industry doing different things, other than just journalists. So it sounds like you possibly work for Audi and Volkswagen. What part of the world do you live in? You probably told me already, but David, where do you live? But that's cool. So here's the thing. Just like 4 houses down, I don't know if they're renting it. There's an Audi R8 V10 that it's a Spider too, of course, being here in Naples, Florida. But that drove by, the lady in it, she drove by while my kids were riding their bikes in the driveway this morning. That was pretty cool. How do you like your ID4 Pro rear-wheel drive? I think I've only tested the dual motor one. So are we getting a new Toyota Highlander and a new trim? Says Abubakar Omar. And the answer is, I don't think so. I think Highlander's done after 2024. It may live on in certain markets, but I think it's done. But I don't have any insider information other than I know that the volume and production is dwindling on the Highlander at the plants, while Grand Highlander is going up. And my sources at plants have said that Sienna is going somewhere else, like Japan, for production. And so it's really a very changing time for Toyota, not just with electrification, but because of electrification, their plants are changing massively, and the vehicles that they're producing at their plants is really getting switched up. Honda has an EV called EN1 in Europe. Yes, they do. Am I replying to comments? Yes, I'm reading comments. If you can, I have the comment section up. So I am replying to comments. Chat is weird. Chat can be weird, Well, we're all weird. So that's the way it is. Moondoggy, what I want to see from Honda, no more games. Just put the cars on the lot, quit screwing around by hiding them on another lot. Merry Christmas. Well, it depends on your dealer, though. Depends on your dealer. Speaking of Honda, I feel like this is a good segue. So check this out. I took a poll from you guys about a week ago on which Japanese motorcycle brand is your favorite and why. If you guys don't know, I love motorcycles just as much as I love cars. I never really had them much growing up. So, I always saw them, adored them. My first time on a motorcycle was when my brother-in-law, he was only 16 at the time. He got his first bike. It was a Yamaha YZF R6. It's a 600cc Super Sport. It was his first bike. He put me on the back of that. I had no gear, no helmet, and there's like this much seat on an R6, and he ripped it down a straight. I just remember it must have been my guardian angel because I thought I was flying off the back of the bike. It was the fastest, coolest sounding thing I've ever heard in my life. And after that, I always loved motorcycles, even though I almost, I was scared to death on that first rip on the throttle. And then I rode a few for my first time in Thailand, but that's a different time for a different story. Anyways, I've always loved motorcycles, and now that I can kind of afford them now, I want to get some motorcycles on the channel for 2024. So that's why I was kind of polling you guys. Whoops. I was polling you. Oh man, I messed that up. I was polling you to see what your favorite brands are and why. I had over about 6,000 likes or 6,000 votes, 100 comments. So I will be sprinkling in some motorcycle stuff in 2024. News, I don't know. I don't know how well news would do for motorcycle stuff. I feel like I'd have to be like a dedicated like motorcycle channel for news stuff. But anyways, there will be motorcycles on the channel. I will be getting one or two. So review Amish buggies. Now that's a great idea actually. But I don't know if there's any Amish here in Florida. Long live the LC500. You're telling me. You were telling me. It is the best Lexus ever made outside of the LFA, and it's like not even close. Well, the LS400 is pretty and the LS430 are pretty fantastic. But outside of that, there's very few cars that make me like just lose my mind over. Daniel Molina, excited to see the TLX Type S review. Yes, I should be getting it maybe in the next week. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say with the situation down here in Florida. I don't really know when I'm getting cars. I just kind of know that I am getting this car, hopefully before embargo ends. The embargo has not been lifted on it. I believe it's like the 13th or something. So I don't know. I don't know if or when I'm going to get that car, but apparently I'm supposed to be able to get it. Straight Pipes released their video on it. Is it driving impressions and everything? Because if that's the case, maybe Canada has a different embargo date, which it's hard to believe. There's also a possibility they could have been given it first and posted first, and Honda said it was okay for them to do that because they're a huge publication. Honda could have also I haven't watched it because I don't know. Honda could have also like sponsored that video too. So I just have no idea with Type S on their channel. David owns a Ducati and get the deals because you work for the Volkswagen Group. Interesting. That is interesting. JR, well, that sounds awesome too. Ducatis are to die for, right? Why doesn't Subaru have an EV or hybrid? I love their all-wheel drive system, and it's the best here in Canada. Well, they do have an EV, and that's a Solterra. Do they have a hybrid? They used to with the Crosstrek plug-in hybrid, but that was using Toyota technology too. They will be going back to Toyota technology in the near future. We just don't know when. We just know what, and that is the Forester standard hybrid. Well, it could be plug-in hybrid. They haven't actually communicated what type of hybrid. We just know it's going to be using Toyota technology. So will there be more? Will there be more babies after your first son? No, I think this is it. Cassie and I are both. We just want to be both the best parents we can be for our children. We don't want to get behind and be overwhelmed with too many. So I think our hard limit is 5. Antoine, what's up? Happy New Year to you. Appreciate you. Happy to be a part of your live stream. Thanks for coming out. Thank you so much. How's the weather out in California? Can't wait to see a review on the GX550 later this month. Me too. I can't wait to drive that beast. Antoine, I think you had a GX. Didn't you have like the Blackline edition? And then I think you got an NX, something like that. Let me know if that is correct. That may have changed. Super Soccer. I could be butchering that. What's up? What's up? I've been watching some Dragon Ball Super because you're a thumbnail Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I've been watching some Dragon Ball Super with the kids. It hasn't gotten too scary yet, but yes, don't know how long I can watch it with them until Frieza shows up, and it's pretty spooky for the kids anyways. They're pretty young. Like I got into Dragon Ball in 4th grade, and my kids are 1st and 2nd grade, are the older ones. So long live the VA, amen. Okay, so let's do a little poll. So the poll on the right was pretty general. So I'm going to ask the poll here. Let's see here. Start a poll. Answer viewer questions live. Start Q&A. I don't even know what that is. We'll try with that. That's something new for streams. Which motorcycle brand is your go-to? Put a little Kawasaki, Yamaha. Suzuki was really low on the list, so I'm not even going to put Suzuki on here, even though I really like Suzuki motorcycles. I'll put Honda on here. Maybe, I can only create 4. I'll just put other and comment which brand. Comment which brand. Okay, we'll start that poll. Because I will be getting some motorcycles here on the channel, not as press. If I wanted to get press motorcycles, I would have to live in LA. I believe that's the only press fleet in America. So, yeah. Remember when Kawasaki was trying to sell their train and motorcycle division? I don't. Oh, Vespa. Yeah, there's some Vespas in my area. They're really beautiful. I see a Vespa and I think of the Disney movie Luca. If you haven't seen Luca, check it out. It's really cool. It's really touching. It's hard, right? Most Pixar movies are pretty heartfelt. But yeah, it's about 2 boys growing up and they like fantasize over having a Vespa. A Vespa is life. 2 Italian boys growing up in Italy, and they're actually sea monsters. So it's pretty cool. Scott from Australia, what's happening? Thanks for coming out from down under. My cousin and her family live in the Brizzy area. One day I'll make it back out there. So, I asked another question today while you guys are working on this poll. Honda right now is leading. But in the greater scheme of things, Yamaha was right behind Honda, really close, and then Kawasaki, and then Suzuki quite a ways back. Here is me setting my best score on New Year's Day, but here's the thing. I already beat that. My best score now is -6 on Switch Golf. It's a lot of fun. It's very addictive. I get really way too intense with it. Way too intense. But really, like, for video games, that's about all I have time for nowadays is just pick up and play sort of games. I can't do really any RPGs anymore. Those are in the past. All press vehicles all come from Miami, at least Florida. Yeah, that's my press vehicles come from Florida, absolutely. And I don't think there are any motorcycle press fleet in Miami. And please don't spam. Yes, Leo the short guy might block you if you're spamming. So I'm not going to answer you, Nidal, because you're spamming. But we don't have an Xterra or Pajero in the Pajero Sport in the United States, so I'm not going to answer that anyways. All right. Yamaha has been doing a good job lately. Have you seen the XSR 900 GP? Yeah, I have. You guys want to see something really cool? Let's pull that up. Let's pull up. Yeah, but it's not guaranteed for America. Actually, it's not announced for America at all. Let me see if GP. This thing looks super cool. It's like a modern retro sports bike. It's really pretty. They did a good job with it. So that's a bike. That's a possibility, right? Well, not this, but the frame that it lives on. So it lives on has a CP3 engine, the triple engine that the MT-09 has, as well as what the standard XSR 900 has, and also the cruising version, like the Grand Touring version of the MT-09. It used to be called the FJ-09. I don't know what it's called anymore, but yes, it's a really cool bike that I know it's coming for Europe. So that's awesome. Max Terra loves motocross. Motocross is pretty cool. There's going to be a big motocross event, I think, in February in Daytona. Scott H, Perth. Happy to have you from Perth on the West Coast there. Yeah, I like free diving, and I know that the waters around the Perth area are supposed to be pretty good, especially if it's in north of Perth, kind of like northwest Australia. There's a really big YouTuber out there who free dives and spearfishes and stuff. So that would be cool to go out there. Okay. Alan Guo, it's snowing and icy rain here in Maryland. Time to put on my 4Runner or LX 570 to good use. Congrats on the baby boy. Well, I appreciate you. Yeah, but go have fun in the snow. That sounds amazing. I just saw an Instagram reel of this guy drifting on snowy mountain roads in his 4Runner. Or was it Tacoma or 4Runner? One of the two. I think it might have been 4Runner. I don't know. I'm subscribed to like 4Runner and Tacoma Instagram channels, so they're always in my feed. But it was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah, this thing looks insane. So I also asked another question recently, just today, 2 hours ago, and I could probably. Oh no, I just reloaded this, so this is up to date. What's your favorite one would be? So I could get any of these motorcycles. My local dealer has them all, to be honest. But I'm just trying to figure out which one. I think I like the Monkey the most. But I don't know if you guys would rather see Grom content. I sat on the Z125 and I thought that the Grom felt a lot better quality. And the Navi is really, really cheap. It is carbureted. But it's so cheap that I don't want to spend money on it, sort of thing, because these things sell for like $500 or something in India. It's the exact same. It's a scooter, technically. There are no gears. It's a CVT on the Navi, but it is cool. It's a cool toy, and I wouldn't mind having it. I just don't know how much money I'd want to drop on one, sort of thing. So what's the latest scoop on next gen ES, Jonathan? Gosh. Okay, so my latest, I don't really have a scoop, but my contacts at the plants in Kentucky have said that when ES goes, there's nothing really there's no Lexus that's going to take its spot at this point in time. So the Lexus employees will go back to being Toyota employees, from my understanding, or maybe, I don't know. So yeah, there's not going to be a Lexus. I thought maybe a Lexus RZ or IS could take its spot there, which maybe it's still a possibility. But yeah, once ES goes back to Japan at the end of, end of 2020, maybe sometime in 2025, to be honest. Because think, the ES is about a year behind the Camry, or 2 years behind the Camry. I'm trying to think. It depends, right? Because the Avalon is no more. The Camry came out, the current gen came out in 2017, and the ES came out in 2019. That sounds about right. But maybe it was 2018 as a 2019 model year. That sounds right too. So yeah, my dates are all messed up in my head, but we're at least a year out from the reveal of a new ES. So let's say best case scenario availability summer 2025 on ES. I don't know. I'm not hearing anything about ES from Japan or from my sources. So it's probably a 26 model year, to be honest. Available maybe mid 2025, because that's when I was selling the new Lexus ES, when the new Lexus ES came out in summer of 2018. I think that sounds right. Oh, gosh, I can't remember. It might have been 2019. Yamaha is good at making pianos and the musical instruments. Absolutely. The Tuning Fork Company. Did Santa bring me a GR Yaris? No, I did not get a GR Yaris for Christmas. I hate to burst your bubble, guys. All right. Honda Groms are small and hard to see in traffic. Yeah, I wouldn't really be driving it in traffic. I would be driving it in small, like, neighborhood streets. Like, anything that goes over 55 miles an hour, I would not be taking a Grom or a Monkey on. I'd be on pretty slow roads, neighborhoods and stuff, going to the beach with it, doing vlogging. So If you get a bike for the channel, get the lowest priced Honda Rebel. The Honda Rebel 300 is what you're referring to. That is a bike you're most interested in. Would buy one, but my grandparents would have a heart attack. Yeah, I understand. You know, the idea of getting a bike on the channel is giving Cassie a little bit of heart worries, but she knows that there's no stopping me. I'm gonna get it. She knows that it makes me so happy. Motorcycles and cars make me so happy that she's willing to sacrifice a little bit of her worries for my business decision to get a motorcycle. Kirk says, James, I have plans to visit Tokyo in late March. Any recommendations to visit around Tokyo for car enthusiasts? Ooh, you know, my time in Tokyo was so limited that I did not have a lot of time. Just walking around on the street is enough for car enthusiasts, in my opinion. But there's so many other things to do and see there. I would go see the Honda showroom. David Chow, he gave me kind of like the curated tour of Tokyo. Go see the Honda headquarters. They also have a showroom at the Honda headquarters with a fantastic coffee bar. And I think there's a juice bar too. And it's the most clean and like cozy showroom I've ever seen in my life. And there's Type R's there. There are motorcycles there. There are cute K cars there, like a Honda One and Inbox, Step Wagon, stuff like that. There's a Vezel there, which we used to call the HRV. So that's one thing for sure to do. But there's other things as well. So I also had lunch at Lexus Intersect. That was a really neat thing to do. That was on my bucket list. So David helped me go to Lexus Intersect. And not only that, at Lexus Intersect, David spoke to the manager there and was able to get us access to the basement. And in the basement of Lexus Intersect is a private bar for Akio Toyota and high-end Toyota executives and any parties they have from time to time there. And I got to hold, I think I got to hold, maybe I didn't, but I know I got to see for sure because the manager brought out and put on the bar Akio Toyota's curated whiskey, and it still had the seal on it. So it was like a special edition batch made just for Akio. There's also down there a special bathroom that has cars on the ceiling, on the walls, and they're like little cars like this everywhere, like lined up, of course, out of their case. And I think there's a car in there that has Akio Toyota's signature. So yeah, go to Lexus Intersect, have lunch there. Really good food. What did I get there? Oh, I had curry. It's great. It's awesome. It was delicious. I had a salad and curry. But there's so many things to do, like to go to all the showroom. Lexus has a showroom in Japan or in Tokyo. Honda, I'm sure Toyota. Do as many showrooms as you can. Dave and I stopped in the Volvo and the Porsche one. Mark Holloman says my EV push is imploding. I don't know if you're talking to me, but like I like EVs, but I don't own one and don't plan on owning one for a long time because it doesn't work for me. But it does work for some people, so I don't know how I'm pushing EVs. But I do like the technology, and I also like talking about them because sometimes they suck really bad. Look what's happening to GM and the Blazer EV. It's a stop sale. So that's fun to talk about. Are they going to be able to fix that by the time the Prologue comes to the market? All right, Jonathan says, I wonder if Lexus will bring the LC500 Ultimate to the States. Probably not. But there's a lot of time. There's probably a couple more model years yet before, the LC500 is discontinued. Right Lane Hog. Mike, yes, let's have the real Crown sedan as the next Lexus ES. I think it'll be similar, to be honest. I think it'll be pretty similar. That is my fingers crossed, that is. For the love of noise, my father got brain damage from a motorcycle accident. That's why we're so against it. They're basically disown me if you bought one, so I'll have to wait until I have a place that you can hide it. I know people die and get injured from motorcycles all the time. It also happens doing other activities in life. I am not a person that's scared of things. I understand the risks. I am I have all the gear. I will never ride without full gear. And I am, oh, you can't really see this. I am reading this book and sinking time into motorcycle safety. I've taken the MSF course before. I know the risks involved, but the rewards for me are happiness and more content for the channel. So it's a twofold thing. It's guilty pleasure, one, and also number one, which is a number two, is providing additional content and growing the channel a little bit. But yeah, I appreciate you. Be safe out there. Whether you're riding a bike, a bicycle, a motorcycle, a horse. I've fallen off a horse before, and let me tell you, I could have died. That happened when I was in second grade. That was dangerous. I was on a horse by myself. Someone thought it was a good idea to leave me on a horse by myself, and I got clotheslined by a tree branch and did a backflip off the horse onto the ground. That could have killed me. But life's about living. So anyways, Mark Wicker loves a Honda Monkey. I think that's my choice here. That's the one I would be getting, the Honda Monkey. But we'll see. We'll see. They're getting kind of expensive. The prices keep going up on them. But man, they're so beautiful and they are so fun. I've ridden a few 125s before, and man, it's great. They're great. Kawasaki's Benzo says Kawasaki's are suited for racetracks. Yamaha makes the best sounding engines, LFA, yes, and they also helped with the 1JZ, maybe 2JZ. I'm trying to remember. Hondas are the Toyota of bikes. I agree. What does he mean by that? Is that Toyota is conservative and they build reliable machines, right? Honda's like that with their cars, but definitely with their motorcycles. They want smoothness, efficiency, and longevity for their motorcycles. They don't have a lot of heartstrings being pulled. Their designs are pretty, though. They make really pretty bikes. So that's the biggest heartstrings for Honda. It's not necessarily their performance or their character, but it's their just overall well-rounded package. Honda makes, I mean, that's where they make most of their money. It's not automobiles, it's actually motorcycles. What do I think there'll be an Acura RDX redesign for the 2025 model year? Maybe 2026. And I'm hearing it's a refresh now, maybe a heavy, like a really heavy refresh, but we'll see. We will see. I'm really far behind on comments. The original said, "Hey, Kirk, I pulled the trigger on being on the pre-order list for the Tacoma, the taco emoji, the TRD Pro version. Have you heard any more colors besides Terra Black? I'm surprised it's not a metallic black and ice cap white. I don't know. We will know more in spring. So here's another 2024 thing I'm going to talk about. In the spring, I will have the ability to drive the Tacoma TRD Pro, the Hybrid Max powertrain on it, the turbo 4-cylinder at 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque with the 8-speed auto. I will be driving that. That, in theory, will also be in the same time I will be driving the new Camry. So stay tuned. Lots of big things coming there. But I'll have more information on the TRD Pro model and what's the Trail Hunter at that point in time. Wishing for the Honda Dax. So I saw the Honda Dax. If you guys don't know what a Honda Dax is, it was right outside the Honda showroom in Tokyo. Honda Dax. I feel like we have the Trail 125 is close to this, right? The Trail 125. So is it named after a dachshund? I mean, that would make sense. So yeah, this cute thing, I saw it in Tokyo, right outside the Honda showroom. It was super cute. Didn't sit on it or spend any time with it, but yeah, check that out. Now, Honda makes the Trail 125, which I think is kind of similar. It's kind of similar, right? Not quite as cute. It's got more of this upright thing here. They also make the Super Cub, which is, I think, the best-selling bike of all time, the Super Cub. Now this is showing me the Trail Cub or the Trail 125. Oh, that's because here we go. There it is. There's a Super Cub. So these things are pretty cute. I just don't like the styling of them. It's too Vespa for me, to be honest. It's too Vespa. So I like, this is the mini one I like the most. Honda Monkey, this guy. I think this one is just adorable. And yeah, that's the one I want. But yes. Okay, so I'm going to end the poll. The poll is ended. Most of you are most interested in Honda as your go-to motorcycle brand. I don't fault you for that. They're the best-selling motorcycle brand in the world. Let's see here. What else? Big Clear says, I love the Super Cub. Modified, they look sick. Oh, I'm sure. Your favorite car in my trip to Japan was the Pro Box. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff. All right, let's see here. If you guys are able to hit that like button, I would appreciate you. First, Needle, he's not spamming anymore, so I appreciate that. He says, first, Xterra is coming to the United States. Second, if you don't want to answer, don't do live stream. Well, I don't know why I answered your question after you said something that snarky. So, yeah, let me look. Let me see. Is Xterra coming to the United States? So, at least the old Xterra was more rugged, I think it was body on frame. Nissan Xterra. The new one is kind of like, it's sold in Saudi Arabia, right? Yes. This guy. And it's more like a Toyota Fortuner sort of vehicle, which doesn't get me excited at all. This thing, I think, looks really ugly. And if it comes to the United States looking like this, instant fail. Instant dead. Like, I think it's absolutely ugly as hell. Interior is functional, I guess. I'll give it that, but it's not pretty. The old Xterra... this guy, handsome vehicle. If they bring it back, something boxy, body on frame, based off, let's say the Frontier, they'll sell like hotcakes. It'll be kind of like their Forerunner, right? I don't know why Nissan's not in this market. They make good trucks, so yeah, they're just missing out, man. Missing out. Okay. Honda Monkey. David Hunter, New York City. He loves a Honda Monkey. Yes, Honda Monkey's awesome. Honda Monkey is awesome. Okay, yeah, Danny Alex. Okay, so this is a big deal here. He says, don't know if you heard, but Stellantis is calling it quits, pretty much calling it quits, on auto shows. Yeah, they're not CES. Don't know when the last time they've been in a big auto show. Ram Truck and maybe Dodge might sneak into some auto shows because they get a lot of traction with their Challengers and Chargers and, Ram trucks and whatnot. And Jeep gets big traction at auto shows too. But in terms of like all the other brands, like Alpha, for example, why would they waste money on it? So auto shows are kind of a dying breed too. It's like print media. Speaking and this is a video I might make tomorrow. I don't know if I can find it on automotive news right now. Yeah, so let's see if I can find Stellant. They mentioned Stellant. Am I not spelling it correctly? Maybe Kia. But anyways, Kia, Hyundai, Genesis have passed Stellantis, I think at least in the United States, for overall sales, which is fascinating. They've passed them. So you can say the Korean brand has passed one of the Detroit Big Three in North America for sales. Now, Dodge is a shadow of being a Detroit big three, right? They're essentially a European conglomerate company now. So it's the auto market is just insane how much it changes in such a short amount of time. That's why it gives me a lot to talk about. It gives me and I'll probably make a video tomorrow on this if things are pretty dry news wise, which it has been lately. But I find it interesting. So I'll talk about what companies are doing really, really well here. King Pokey, Master of Railroads WCM, says, "Hey Kirk, I would like to see you do a collab with Joe Rady of Rady's Rides." Yeah, Joe's awesome. Every time I see him at these events, he is just a really easy guy to talk to. Him and Lori are amazing. I don't know why I haven't gone up to Tampa. He's hardly ever home. You guys probably know this. He might travel more than any other YouTuber, at least doing what we do, which is going to media drives and reveals and stuff like that. Auto shows. He does all the auto shows too. You know, it's hard to meet up with him. Also, Tampa's not just like 20 minutes from here. It's an hour and a half. So it would be a whole day thing away from family for me to go up to Tampa and collaborate with Joe. Now, could we do something on our computers? Probably, but Joe's honestly one of the busiest people I've ever met. Him and Lori are always busy. So if I were to do a collab with him, maybe one of these days, maybe when I'm older and wiser and up to Joe's speed, if that makes sense. Joe's incredible. Kazuki Sue, "Hey Kirk, I am new to your stream and you know when it is the 2024 GX 550 coming out." Yeah, you must have been, yeah, you are new to the stream. April, probably April timeframe. Nissan Titan, rest in peace. I agree. It is done. Nissan already announced that. It's hard for me to like highlight this stuff. You guys probably see me struggling. All right. I do want to test a Volvo EX90. I like Volvos. The thing, Bran Kwan says he likes auto shows because you see all the brands in one place. I love auto shows as a spectator. Absolutely. They're amazing. Will they ever redesign the Suzuki Hayabusa? They just did recently. And here's the thing. Why am I getting back into motorcycling with a baby on the way, all this stuff? Well, it's always on my mind. I can't stop thinking about cars and motorcycles all the time. That's just how my brain works. Or Husker football. Jeez, that's a tough one. So I buried that one back there because it's just a sad program. Hayabusa. Gloves? I get gloves? Hayabusa was redesigned just a few years back, 3 years ago, something like that. They gave it better electronics, gave it a redesign with the, I guess you could say the design. It's kind of more like a refresh, right? It's a heavy refresh, but it's the same bike underneath. The original bike, right, could do like 202 miles an hour or something. So here's the thing. Why am I talking about the Hayabusa? Because you mentioned it. Well, I was at my friend's daughter's birthday party. Our kids go to the same school. And he actually works in the financing department of an Audi dealership here in Naples. And if we were just talking, he's like, "Yeah, I bought a Hayabusa." I'm like, "What?" I had no idea he was into motorcycles. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I grew up riding motorcycles in Pakistan." And he's like, I just wanted, it's like, it was time for me to buy a Hayabusa. And he had it. I don't think he'd owned a motorcycle in the States anyways prior. So yeah, he's got a Hayabusa. Once I heard that, I'm like, "Do you ride with anyone?" He's like, "Not really. I have some friends out of town." I'm like, "I'm going to get some bike. I'm going to get a bike or two and I'm going to ride with you." Now, I'll eventually ride his Hayabusa. It's black like this. He'll probably let me on it and I'll let him ride my bikes too. But like, I'll eventually ride this. I think my good friend Charlie from Daily Motor is going to be getting a Hayabusa soon for his press fleet. He lives out in California now. Good choice, moving from the Detroit area. And yeah, he'll be riding a Hayabusa for the first time. But anyways, so long story short, that was just That was December. That was just last month when he told me that he got a motorcycle. So I told him like I'm getting a motorcycle, and so it's going to happen. I actually have money down on a motorcycle, not one of these. One of these I probably will get as well. So I'll have a 1-2 punch, a small bike and a big bike, and I'll be able to make content on a small bike and a big bike on the channel. So, anyways, that's a long-winded story, and I think the question that started it was, is this Hayabusa ever going to get a redesign? The answer is probably. Suzuki doesn't redesign things. It's like once in a quarter century, if they redesign something. David's here from Automotive Press. Yeah, David and I were supposed to do a end of the year collab, but we didn't. Yeah, we just didn't get to it. Did Kirk skip over my earlier content? I didn't even know David was in here. There he is. But want to say Happy New Year, says David. I wish you were coming to Japan with me next week. Yeah, David's heading to the Tokyo Auto Salon. I hope you see some amazing things there, David. I cannot wait to see your content. I'm going to be watching it because I won't be there this time. But we had so much fun, and we crushed it at the Japan Mobility Show, and look forward to that like every 2 years. Me and David will probably, I don't see any reason why we can't keep that going. And let's not next year, but the year after. So is that 2025 Japan Mobility Show? And hopefully at that mobility show, because me and David, we loved it, but most of the concepts were pretty far out there because the theme of the show was the future of Japan's auto industry, essentially. And so that's why none of them were concepts that are official vehicles, really. So hopefully in 2 years' time, maybe a lot of those vehicles will have an actual production announcement. But hopefully you see some cool stuff there. I'm hoping David sees a lot of cool Gazoo racing things while he's at the auto salon. So thanks for stopping out, David. Yeah, we need to do a collab soon, a little live stream action, and I don't know what the topic would be, but maybe we'll talk about the GX or something because people love the GX on both of our channels. All right. David then just sent me some money. David, it's probably because David's been fishing. He's probably selling the crabs or whatever you're fishing out there in British Columbia this time of the year. So he's probably, making money on crab season. Sending me $50. Well, thank you. That is going to buy us a meal while we're at home after baby comes. So he says, New Year gift for Kirk. Best wishes for you and the new baby. Yes, I appreciate that. Last time David gave me $50 on a live stream, I'm pretty sure we got sushi the next day. So thank you. You rock. Thanks, David. If you guys are not subscribed to David's channel, Automotive Press, it's fantastic. He covers similar vehicles that I do. He has very similar interests that I do, but he has an engineering background, and he combs over cars a much different way than I do, and it's amazing to see him do like a car walk around. It's cool. All right, let's see here. Notice how Nissan has more presence than Honda in Japan. That might be true. David would know better than me if David's still in the chat. Randy London, release date of Honda Civic Hybrid. I will know more. Okay, another Honda thing. Let's talk about Honda. Honda has invited me, I think it's like the 18th or 19th, something like that. They've invited me to a press conference online where they're going to share their finances. They're going to share their electrification strategy, things like that. And last year at this exact same press conference briefing, I don't know what you call it, year beginning briefing, they announced that the Civic Hybrid hatchback and sedan are coming next year. So that means, right, I think they said the spring of 2024. So that's when you can expect it. But it might come actually, I might have news in just a few days from now, essentially, about those hybrids. Prayers for Japan. Absolutely. Prayers for Japan. They got hit with some really bad earthquakes, some really sad. Japan's just, they're in that ring of fire, right? They're a hot spot of disasters. And I know this is not related, but I'm going to go back to this. If you guys haven't seen Godzilla -1, I don't know what you're doing. Like, if you like anything about movies and monsters in Japan, you have to see this movie. It is fantastic. It kind of paints a picture of Japan post World War II as well. So definitely check it out. It's not really a monster movie. I've been telling my, because I'm going to make Cassie watch it. I'm like, it's not really a movie about monsters. It's more about what people do when they're faced with a life and death situation, and tragedy. Like, you see kind of this is like blood dripping, like absolute tragedy. And that's, it's Godzilla is it was like the first successful media that I'm aware of that started Japan off, in the movie business and the entertainment business. It all goes back to Godzilla. But yeah, anyways, off topic, but Godzilla kind of, it shows in this movie kind of what happens to Japan with natural disasters. Kind of Godzilla is this figure that is this destructive force of nature that keeps wreaking havoc on Japan over the eons of time. So it's crazy. Anyways, really off topic, but kind of on topic. Franz von Julio. For me and the bike world, it's all BMW followed by Ducati. If I had unlimited money, I'd go to ARC motorcycles. Well, yeah, BMW and Ducati are extremely expensive. I'm not ready for that yet. And most of my followers are into Japanese cars. That's just how this channel started. I love all cars. I love all motorcycles. Put me in the saddle of anything, I'll ride it and probably like it. But yes. Danny says many automotive journalists released videos about the upcoming 4Runner. I know David has a video, I think it just came out today, about the 4Runner. So if you want to see some 4Runner stuff, David's always talking about the 4Runner, does amazing on his channel. He's really successful with 4Runner and Tacoma and Tundra videos. So let's see here. When do I think GX Hybrid will be available? Maybe a year after launch. That's just a guess. That's probably ballpark. So maybe spring of 2025. Remember, the Land Cruiser comes out kind of just slightly after the GX, and it has that hybrid powertrain, and it's the same vehicle. It's a J250 platform. It's the F platform, but J250 Land Cruiser Prado, the GX. Anyways, how do I think the GX Hybrid will do? What powertrain do you think it will have? I don't know how it will do because I don't know how good that powertrain is yet. So I don't know if it'll do. Lexus buyers do like hybrids, so I think it'll do well. When's Godzilla coming on streaming? I have no idea. I could Google it for you. Godzilla -1 streaming. No official streaming yet. There you go. I am still looking to stream Oppenheimer. I haven't seen that yet. Really want to watch that. When do you think the GX Hybrid... Okay, I already read that. Charles is coming from Torrance. Thanks for coming out from Torrance. That's Honda's headquarters. There you go. David Hunter NYC loves the car care nut. Ahmed, yes, he's awesome. He's very knowledgeable. I haven't met him yet. I don't know if I ever will. He doesn't really do press events. His content is more about like longevity and maintenance and fixing things. So it's kind of different coverage, but kind of the same realm of automobiles, right? Will I be test driving the plug-in TX? I don't know when I'll be driving the TX, period. Simple as that. I don't know when I get press cars down here. It's literally I just don't ever know. Simple as that. It's just the situation of the press fleets down here in Florida. Kind of at the mercy of what they can get me when they can get me it. Are there plans for the US to get the HRV hybrid? Yes, there has to be. There has to be. Drive shaft or belt? Are you asking for motorcycles? I would take either. I don't like chains. It's something I'm not looking forward to about getting into motorcycling. Yes, I could get like a Yamaha Bolt, which has a belt drive and very low maintenance. And some of the Hondas, gosh, doesn't Honda has something that's like shaft driven too. I'm trying to think of what it is. But anyways, yes, I'd rather have shaft or belt because I hate doing maintenance on motorcycle chains. I've even replaced a motorcycle chain on an old motorcycle that I had. I don't like doing any motorcycle chain maintenance, but maybe I will now. I have a garage now that I have motorcycles, so maybe I'll enjoy it more now. So we'll see. Chuck R, I love my '04 Yamaha YZ6 or FZ6, but I'm looking forward to the Yamaha R4. Now, is this Chuck? I don't know anything about this R4. Is it going to have an inline four, kind of like the Kawasaki? Was it ZX4R? I sat on one this past week, which was a lot of fun. It made me want to rip. It's got like 70 horsepower to inline four, and I want to hear that tiny inline four scream. That's the problem with the inline fours on 600 cc's and above. If you want to hear them wail, you're almost doing like triple digits. So it's just the nature of the inline four. Most of the power's at the top end, unless you have something massive like 1,000 cc or a Hayabusa or something, then yes, you have torque everywhere. But anyways, most of the power's at the high end of the rev range. And so that's when a low horsepower, a 250 cc to 400 cc inline four, you can wind those babies out and not get like, and you can enjoy that inline four sound and not be doing like triple the speed limit. Ben Vowell says, thanks for answering your question. Appreciate it in your channel. Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for everyone coming out and commenting, interacting. Thanks for the super chatters who have given me some spending money for meals and whatnot. Let's see here. Thinwig just joined in. Godzilla Minus One was one of the best movies I've seen in a while. Oppenheimer, I wish I would have saw an IMAX along with Godzilla to feel the power. Here's the thing. I saw Godzilla Minus One in 4DX. I didn't know what 4DX was. Like, I don't go to movies that much. I just know I wanted to see Godzilla Minus One. I liked the time. The time slot that I had, so I went in. I'm like, I want to see Godzilla. They're like, the one that starts like in 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, that one. They're like, it's 4DX. You know that, right? I'm like, sure, whatever. 4DX is literally a Universal Studios theme park ride the entire movie. You sit in a chair that's really uncomfortable and it moves around unexpectedly. It shakes. You get air shot in your face. You get water sprayed at you. And there are strobe lights going on. I didn't make it out of the Aquaman trailer before I was already sick. So I went and sat on the stairs the rest of the movie. And actually what I did, I sat in the back corner behind the very back row. And so I had the back propping me up and I was looking over like through the hand railings of the stairs, watching the rest of the movie, sitting on the floor, sitting in a squat, just kind of moving around because I was sick from just the trailers with the 4DX. So there's my experience seeing Godzilla Minus One. I'm still able to enjoy the movie. I wasn't leaving. Nope, not leaving. All right. Savage Geese are your fave. Savage Geese are awesome. It's always fun talking to those guys at the press events. Mark is awesome. Jack's super smart. He's too smart for me. I'm not saying Mark's not smart, but like I feel like Mark's able to come down to my level and like relate really, really well. So it's just easy for me to talk to Mark. And Jack is like he's like a Vulcan talking to like a human. He's just too smart for me. There's a lot of journalists, like, well, not a lot, but there's a few journalists that are just so smart that like I'm just like, well, it's like, how you doing? It's like, okay, well, they just want to talk about like other, like really, really geeky stuff. And I can only handle so much of that. So anyways, yes, that's why this channel is not, it's not the most in depth, because I'm more of like a practical everyday sort of guy. I'm not the world's smartest guy, but there are really good channels out there like Savage Geese if you want the technical stuff, like Alex on Autos if you want the technical stuff, etc. And I can't figure out how to unhighlight the entire chat box at this point. There we go. When's Godzilla coming to streaming? Did I answer that? We don't know when or what it's going to be on, but hopefully it's soon. Hopefully it's soon. Danny, I don't know if you follow motorsports in depth. Not really. Honda could leave IndyCar and if costs don't get lowered and Honda supplies many teams with power units. Yeah. IndyCar, I don't know anything about IndyCar. Ruby Ruin. Let's go back to motorcycles. Ruby Ruin says, I'm a returning motorcycle rider as well after a 15-year hiatus. It's been about 10 years for me. He says, currently waiting for the 2024 model year CBR 650R to arrive at the dealers. That was on the top of my list. I didn't go that route. Excuse me, I'm drinking carbonated water, so I'm a little belchy. But the key lime, LaCroix key lime, I hope they sponsor me because it's the easiest thing to drink. It's amazing. Anyways, CBR 650R. So you guys want to see a sick bike that is also easy to ride every day. 650R 2020. It's a 2024 model. Yeah, they come this spring. It just got a refresh. This thing is unbelievably beautiful. Now, I looked up insurance on it. It's pretty high. But gosh, Honda made the back end more like a Hornet, right? The Hornet that we don't get, but the old Hornets from days past. But this thing is absolutely gorgeous. And the handlebars are higher, so it's not like a super sport like a CBR 600RR or a Fireblade. So it's like an everyday 600cc inline four. So you have everyday ergonomics here, and with sport bike looks. It looks unbelievable. Now there's a naked version of this, just called the CB650R. And I love the circular like headlight, and I love the pipes that come down. That is such a flex. It's gorgeous. So this was a consideration too. I'm not getting either of them, but they were at the top of my list, and I thought for sure those were the bikes that I wanted. So I'm not saying I might not. Maybe I'll get one in the future, but yes, this was at the top of my list for a while, but I don't think I'm going there. I don't think I'm going there. Who knows? Sometimes I change my mind, but I got actually money down on a bike, and it's not a Honda CBR. There are no like CBRs. I've been to a few dealerships and showrooms. There's like no Honda. The only Hondas I've seen are, I saw one 500F, CB 500F, I think. And I think I saw, well, besides like Groms and Minimotos, besides that, I saw CRF 300L. So that, if you guys don't know what CRF is, it's like kind of a dual sport. CRF 300L. They're really tall. I'm 6'1", and I didn't want to sit on this because it was so tall. But that would be amazing for dual sport on off-road riding. So there's at a point in time, about a decade ago, I wanted the CRF 250L. So who knows? Maybe I'll get a dual sport one of these days. I just don't know where I'd ride. Am I going sport bike or touring bike? What if I told you maybe neither? Maybe neither. It's not time for me to talk about the bike I'm getting. So just know that I will be getting a bike or two on the channel. Thinwig, do you think the next 4Runner will eventually include a twin-turbo V6 to compete with the Bronco Raptor and Wrangler Hemi, just after seeing the Tacoma with V6? No, I don't think they will. I think the chances are extremely slim. Your best bet would be a 4Runner hybrid, so the Hybrid Max. Hybrid Max. That would be your best bet. What the Tacoma TRD Pro has. So Jay was for the win. Good luck enjoying your motorcycle with children. There's no time. I'll make time because it's work for me. So I'll be making videos on my motorcycle, so it's a part of work. So I always have time for work and family. So it's always the balance, right? Don't know how much time I'll have for just pleasure riding, but I'll be making videos with the motorcycle. So Signia is car of the year. Well, it's maybe next year's car of the year. This year's, let's talk about that. Speaking of car of the year, Toy. North American Car of the Year and Truck of the Year. Who won? If you guys don't know, let's zoom in. The Prius and Prius Prime won North American Car of the Year. Last year, I think it was the Integra. Super Duty won Truck of the Year. Okay. And Utility Vehicle of the Year, EV9. Haven't driven the EV9, and I don't do big pickup trucks on the channel. But the EV6 is pretty good. North American Utility Vehicle of the Year. Honestly, that they couldn't give the award to two Toyotas because probably the Grand Highlander or the CX-90 should have been right up there for North American Utility Vehicle of the Year. Ooh, here we go. Here we go. How about this? How about this? And maybe my audience is a little bit biased. NACTOY SUV of the year. Let's put a little Mazda CX-90. I'm making a poll for you guys, by the way. Oh, you can probably see it on TV, on the screen anyways. All right. Toyota Grand Highlander. Kia EV9, and I'll just put other, and you guys comment. Well, their new poll is up. I want to see what you guys have to say North American Car of the Year is for the SUV. For the SUV. The poll's raging right now. I want to keep this up. Can I just keep this up? Why is it minimize? Mazda CX-90 going strong here. No votes on the EV9 yet. I have beef also with the Prius and Prius Prime. If you guys didn't know, I gave up trying to get a Prius Prime. I could have got one from the fleet in DC. It would have been available for sale after it ran its course as a press car, so it would have been a used car. I could have got in line for that. I turned it down because it was like $41,000. I don't want to drop $41K at this point in my life when I don't own a home yet on a Prius. And they're just none locally. You can get Prius Primes for less if you can find one, but there are markups everywhere. But yeah, so I turned down the Prius Prime, if you guys didn't know. Not that I love the car. When I drove it, it was one of the best cars I've driven for what it is, an efficient, everyday, a commuter car. It was incredible. It was super, super built. The build quality was incredible on it. Oh, I said something to my Alexa. But here's the problem I have with the Toyota Prius. And you guys may have seen this when I talked about my super long videos, 40 minutes on end of the year sales. And I have to download it again. This is what I'm really disappointed about with the Prius. It only sold 38,000 units in 2023 compared to 36,000 units in 2022. The demand, there's enough demand on the Prius to probably sell 150 to 200,000 Priuses if they were available in volume. It's unavailable for the masses. And in fact, the Prius, I think, was outsold by the Kia Niro hybrid. I see way more new Kia Niro hybrids than I do see the new Prius where I live. They're everywhere in comparison to the new Prius. I see maybe a new Prius once every 2 weeks. I see a Kia Niro hybrid every day or every other day. And that's the new one, not the old gen. It was only up 3%. So they make the Prius more desirable than ever. And they're producing it, at least for our market, at 38,000 units. Toyota Prius Wiki sales. Maybe if the sales might be in here. Sales units in here. Sometimes they are. They're not always. It's big. It's a big page. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. So let me look up Toyota Prius 2012 sales. I think that was peak. Man, they're making this hard for me to find. They're making this hard for me to sell. Maybe I have to type in sales volume. There you go. Toyota sold 220. They sold almost 200,000 more Priuses in 2012 than they did in 2023. I know that is a global car, and they only have one production facility for the Prius compared to two back in its prime, pun intended there. But that is just not. It's not. It's like it feels like it's not fair if you're a Prius fan, and I am. I love the Prius. I have a Prius, but my 2012, after I just changed the tires recently, it literally drives like a brand new car. Even though my parents have hit a tree or two and ran over some curbs with it, it still drives amazing. So there you go. There's my thoughts on North American Car of the Year. Prius deserving of it. Toyota doesn't deserve it. Does that make sense? Because the customers are not winning with the Prius. They're not winning. Too low volume. The markups are too high, and it's just unobtainium. So CX90 here. Oh, and I'm not done. I'm not done railing into the Prius here. How many were actually the Prius Prime? This makes me really, really ticked off too, because the Prime, they're like, yeah, check out the Prime, 220 horse. It's actually quick, 44 miles of range. It's amazing. Look how many Primes. Look at this Prime volume. It's down 36%. What the heck? What the heck? What the heck? Yikes. Yikes. Now, why does the Prius volume, why can Toyota get away with it being so low? Because they have so many other hybrids. 2012, the Prius was like one of the few hybrids Toyota have. Look at all the hybrids they have now, okay? Including Lexus. Like, it's just insane. But the Prius, right? Come on, the Prius should have some attention. This is your previous halo car for your hybrid technology, and you gave it that attention that it deserves with a powertrain upgrade on the standard model and the Prime, and you give it insane styling. You destroyed its usability, but it doesn't matter because it looks amazing. So yeah, anyways, look at all these other, like Corolla Hybrid. This is the card to get. Look how many Corolla Hybrids. These are built in Japan too, so if you're worried about build quality or whatever, don't worry about it. These are far easier to get, a Corolla Hybrid. They're far cheaper too. Cars.com. I know I'm on fire right now if you guys can't tell. Let's look up a Corolla Hybrid, 150 miles of where I live. Look at this guy. Oh, it's used. Okay, maybe that's why it's so cheap. New. Okay, this one's getting a price drop because it's overpriced. It's marked up to begin with. 24 is about where it should be for an LE. And you can hopefully get them for 24. Just because it's listed for a price doesn't mean you can get it for that price because of dealer markups. Corolla Cross in here is not labeled properly by Al Hendrickson Toyota. Yeah, this is overpriced too. So I would only buy a Corolla Hybrid at around $25,000, somewhere in there. If you're spending upper 20s, should get a Prius. But anyways, I know I've missed a lot of comments in there with my North American Car of the Year Prius tangent. All right, let's see here. Good call on the Prius. Save your money and get and say, well, yeah, no kidding. I'm seeing a lot of Crowns in my area, Crown sedans. A lot of Crowns in my area. And every time I look in the car, the driver is like, he's probably 85 years old. He's definitely a legacy Avalon buyer. Not like Subaru Legacy, but like a continual Avalon buyer since 1995. OJ Callahan, you missed me talking about the ES earlier, probably. Love the ES. Let's see here. You're scared of losing the V6 on the ES. Yeah, it's going to go away unless you can get the ES plug-in hybrid, and maybe they keep the V6 on that. I doubt it. It'd be too expensive for an ES. David says I deserve the GR Prius. Let's see what happens if and when that comes out. I don't want to get too excited. Yamaha Super Tenere or Tenere, I don't know how to say it, but those bikes, those adventure bikes are amazing. Ryan says, greetings from Austin. Looking forward to the new Tacoma Hybrid and 4Runner reveal. Me too. What do Dozen Rice Balls? Or Asian Rice? I don't know. I could be butchering your name. If this was already asked, what do I think the future of the LS? I don't think the LS has much of a future unless they completely change it. I think the ES is going to take the LS off the market when they redesign it, make it bigger, maybe make it rear-wheel drive. Because if production's going back to Japan, why would they do that? Well, tons of reasons, but maybe the reason they're bringing the ES back to Japan is because it's going rear-wheel drive bias. They don't have a rear-wheel drive bias platform in production, sedan, I should say, production in North America. In fact, I think only the trucks are the rear-wheel drive bias platform that they have for Toyota in North America. The rest are the K platform or the C platform, which are front-wheel drive bias. So maybe that's it. Maybe they need to go back to Japan because it'll be taking the place of LS. It'll be taking the place of the GS, and it'll be a rear-wheel drive luxury sedan to better compete with the 5 Series, the 6 and 7 Series. The A6, A7. And yeah, we'll see. We will see. Gus Gonzalez. Hey, Kirk, I'm still waiting for a Land Cruiser 1958. Any idea when it's going to be available? Don't know, man. That is harder to tell than just about anything, right? That's about as hard to tell with 4Runner. So we know Land Cruiser is going to be available probably spring, summer. But good luck getting your hands on one. And remember, the launch edition comes first. We don't know when anything else comes. So I don't know. Rest in peace, Kia Stinger. Amen. David is right. Which David? Is it David Chow? Or who's right about what? Is David Chow still in here? David, if you are, how you doing? Have you been fishing today? Are you going fishing soon? Eric Brett, it's correct to think that this is a bear, but a very smooth head. You must be thinking, does he shoulder shine? That would be incorrect. The answer is a bear trade secret. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. Waiting for the LFR to put Lexus back on the map. Yeah, let's talk about something exciting. Lexus. I have an own... the LFR has its own folder. Yep, there we go. LFR, there it is. It'll have a Lexus badge on it, not a Toyota GR badge. There it is. It's a Batmobile. Hopefully David can see this at the Tokyo Auto Salon with a Lexus badge on it. That's what I'm hoping for. They revealed this, 2 years ago at the Tokyo Auto Salon. Look at this. Look at this thing. Look at this. There's a couple images in here that I can't show, so I got to be careful about going through these pictures. But yeah, look at that, guys. Look at that. This looks way better than the new AMG GT. That was one of the cars if you missed my video, cars coming out in 2024 that I'm excited for that are not Japanese cars. The new AMG GT was one of them. This I'm far more excited. But when is this coming out? It's not coming out till 2025 at least. So probably 2025. I don't have a timeline on the GX 550 hybrid, which is probably going to be called like the GX 600H or something silly. Gary says, rather see you in a GR anything than a two-wheel anything with today's drivers. It's not you, but them. I understand. Drivers are terrible out there. Drivers are terrible. Drivers are bad. Japanese dealers have been notified that the LS redesign has been pushed back from 2024 to 2025 or later. Shoot. I haven't heard anything about an LS redesign, so DM me if you know anything about LS redesign, because why would they redesign it? What's the point of redesigning the LS? The sales are horrible. It's not worth saving. Like, what are you going to do? What are they going to do to it? Come out with another hybrid? The 7 Series electric seems to be doing pretty well, but only the S-Class does well in that segment. Like the Genesis G90 is fantastic, but I don't think it sells well. There's so many Davids in this chat. There are a lot of Davids in this world. It's a good name. I have an Uncle David. Wonder if the Koreans will try an inline 6. No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm all for it, but I don't think so. I think they're too much into electrification to be interested in inline 6. Mazda, on the other hand, they don't really care about electrification. That's why they're like, hey, we'll give you an inline 6. We'll give you an inline 6 in 2023. LFR isn't enough to save Lexus. They should release under Toyota. No. The LFR needs to come for Lexus for their racing division. Honestly, Lexus is banking on next generation EVs to save Lexus. And we're talking, like, here's the thing. Lexus is up year over year. They had like a plus 88% in the month of December or something. It's not like they're hurting. They're growing in Europe. So they're doing fine despite having an okay lineup. Like, you guys know how much I love Lexus, so it pains me to talk down on them. But I'm probably more critical on Toyota and Lexus than any other brand because I care so much about them. But yeah, like, look at this lineup. Where are these cars? Where are these EVs that you teased in 2021? Like, I know EVs won't save them. I know they have amazing hybrids, and maybe that's what the market wants right now here in North America is awesome hybrids, and they can do that really well. But how do they stand apart from Toyota nowadays, especially with the Crown lineup? I'll pick a new Crown wagon, Crown Signia, Crown Estate over the RX. Every time I see an RX on the road, I think they're ugly. I think the new RX is ugly. I like the NX styling quite a bit. This is just personal. Like, I like the NX way more than I like the new RX. I probably would like the new TX better than the RX as well. The problem with the TX, I haven't driven it yet, so I can't tell you. I don't know when I'm going to drive it. And the problem is it's the same thing as the Toyota Grand Highlander, but you know, higher build quality, better materials, just slightly different styling. And the thing is, I think I like the styling on the Grand Highlander better than the Lexus TX. That's a problem with the Lexus TX. I get the same hybrid powertrains except the plug-in hybrid here, but that's, you know, they're making $1,000 a year. It's like vaporware, and it's $80,000. So, anyways, I mean, $80,000 is actually a pretty good price in my opinion, because I'd probably pick the TX plug-in hybrid over the Volvo XC90 plug-in hybrid. It's way bigger, not quite as fast, but probably more smooth if that's possible. Anyways, I got a lot of opinions today. I haven't done a live stream so long. That's why I'm probably going way too long on this. Was this like an hour and a half in? Yes, an hour and a half in. Oh, my camera turned off too. So let's see if I can fix that. I think my battery died. Well, there you go. I think that's a good segue. So my battery died. And that's a good segue into ending this stream. Thank you guys for coming out. Like I said, big January. Motorcycles also coming on the channel. We'll have a big spring for Toyota. Lots of other stuff coming as well. Oh, I'm a little sweaty. It got hot in here. The computer is generating a lot of heat in this room. So thank you guys for coming out. If you haven't hit the like button, I appreciate that. Thank you all for my super chatters. Thank you guys for coming out from around the world. Happy New Year to you all. And hopefully I'll be streaming more. If you guys want to see more streams, I don't know, let me know in the normal videos that I make. Comment down below. Chris Gello would love a collaboration with Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. Fingers crossed. You're not the only one to say this. There's someone else who mentioned it earlier in the channel, or maybe it was you. Maybe you said it twice, but I could always hit up Rady. We could maybe work on something. Joe's like, he's Mr. International. He's traveling all the time, and it's about a 2.5, 3 hour hike from here. So it's not the easiest to collab, but we could probably make it happen. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming out. Thank you. Have a happy New Year, and take care. Good stuff coming. It's an amazing year ahead. Thank you.